Good evening and welcome to the Purple Matter Practicum Showcase. I'm Juliana and I'll be your host for the evening. Now let's start off by watching a short teaser from Purple Matter. That video leaves me with more questions than answers. Luckily, we've got the creators of this short film with us today to reveal some of the secrets on how Purple Matter came to be. They're going to introduce themselves, their role in the production, and one fun fact about themselves. First, we have Ayat Salih.
Hi, my name is Ayat. I'm the writer and director of Purple Matter, and a fun fact about me is I can put my leg behind my head.
Thank you, Ayat. Next, we have Michaela O'Brien.
Hi, I'm Michaela and I'm the audio lead. So I was the boom operator, sound mixer, designer. And one fun fact about me is I love to bake.
All right, thank you, Michaela. Next, we have Nick Armstrong.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm the marketing lead for Purple Matter, so everything social media and marketing I was responsible for. One fun fact about me, I am the youngest of 5 brothers. And really quickly, we also have one team member who couldn't make it today. That's Ryan Dioso. He's the DOP and technical lead for the film. And one fun fact about Ryan is that he likes to play basketball.
Well, basketball is very fun. Thank you all for being here today. It's really great to see you all. We really, really appreciate it. So from the teaser we just saw, we get a sense of just how creative and interesting your film is. So next next, can you tell us about the story of Purple Matter? Can you give us a brief synopsis of what this film is trying to say?
Right, so Purple Matter is an experimental short film about a young queer woman confronting the grief of her late mother, as well as this newfound love she's feeling for her girlfriend, Rose. And yeah, we kind of explore all of those feelings through her dreams. So the film itself is just like us going through her subconscious and all of the anxieties and the polarity of her emotions that her dreams are revealing about herself. So it's pretty like abstract, but it's good to like let the audience interpret it for themselves as well.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for that breakdown. Next, we have some scenes that Purple Matter has sent to us that we're going to break down. They're going to tell us all about the production process and how these scenes came to be. So let's roll the first scene.
One touch, no.
All right. Tell us all about this scene. How was it made? What is it trying to say?
Mm-hmm. So this scene is about Rose and Adham finding beauty in each other as they're like, as their love story is like unfolding, and also the beauty that they find in the world now because of each other. And this scene is like how Adham feels about Rose. So yeah, we were actually like inspired by Scarborough Bluffs when we were location scouting, and we were so set on choosing that place to shoot and everything, just because the I guess like the layout of the environment, I hate to say that about like a beach, but yeah, the layout was just so beautiful. And we kind of just like went off script. to tell the scene in a different way and completely change the flow. And then that also translated in how the talent were, how they were directed throughout shooting. We wanted them to also just, be really like free with it and get inspired the same way we did when we went location scouting. And, we wanted that like production process to translate through the film.
For sure. And I want to talk more about how you use the script in the scene. So you said you kind of went off script. How was that for the rest of the film? Did you sort of stick to the script or did you more diverge?
Well, it like depended on the scene for sure. Some scenes, they had dialogue and we had to be really particular and like really go by the script just because the shots had to be led in a certain way because we're also conveying like dream logic and that has to be prepared sometimes. But then other times, dream logic is like more unscripted and is more intuitive. So other scenes like the beach scene and a couple of other scenes, we kind of like followed that direction where we use the script as like guidance. And we were just conscious of whatever message we were trying to portray. But like while we're on set, like we have the freedom to do what we want. And it's also important that all of it was like a collaborative effort, especially since we're such a small crew with like very little talent as well.
Right. And I guess the subjectivity of dreams kind of gives you that creative freedom.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go to our next scene.
Was I enough? Are you enough? Did you think I was enough?
All right, tell me about this scene. How was it made? How did it come together? What's it about? Who can tell me about it?
I'll just tell you about what the scene is about, I guess. So this is between Ilham, the main character, and her mother, Mama. And this is a lucid dream, and this is Ilham seeing her mother in the flesh after a very long time. And yeah, Ilham is kind of overwhelmed by that, but she also has a lot of questions that are a bit more deep and personal that she wants her mother to answer, but her mother is dead. And the person she's seeing in her dream right now is just a figment. And she kind of needs to confront that to like move forward and get past. So this scene is actually very pivotal for Ilham's journey.
For sure. So I'm getting the sense that dreams are really essential to this film, the story, the concept. Nick, can you tell us about how you sort of translated this whole thing with dreams in the film into your social media marketing aspect?
Yeah. So obviously, it was a big benefit to have access to all of the beautiful trailers and stills from the movie, because I think those really captured that dreamy quality of the movie. And yeah, I think just in the marketing, I wanted to carry with me kind of the fact that dreams are so baked into the appeal of the movie as well as the emotional core. And specifically, I think, part of the appeal of the movie is that dreams are these kind of, they have this unexplainable kind of quality. And so seeing them represented on film, I think is something that really is interesting to people. And yeah, so I just really wanted to sell that through the marketing.
For sure. All right, let's go to our final scene of our showcase.
It's very important to me.
All right. Michaela, do you want to tell me about the technical aspects of this scene?
Yes, definitely, for sure. So we actually had to, we scrapped a few of the shots that we were planning on using, and we went with the lens baby shots, which were like extreme close-up shots, and they were very like distorted and kind of blurry, and it made it look, it gave it that dream like aspect to it. And since we had to scrap some of the other shots, we had to balance this out with audio since it didn't really make sense. These clips were very like chopped up, like pieced together. So we definitely had to balance it out with audio to make sense of the scene, and which made it a lot of fun because it gave it the whole dream aspect. We had to do ADR for this scene and record lines multiple times with different emotions, and I ended up layering them and panning them, so it gave it that whole dream atmosphere, and it ended up turning out really cool.
For sure. That sounds really interesting. And I mentioned this before, but the whole subjectivity of dreams gives you that creative freedom. Did you find that process fun?
Yeah, I definitely loved it. Just like through the writing process, and different drafts and all of that, you find that everyone has different dreams, and we dream in different ways. And without like getting too deep into it, it also says a lot about how we conduct ourselves in like the waking world. Um, and I think that subjectivity makes filming a dream that much more special because um, we can also comment on how the person is in the waking world. Um, and we can also just like really play around with what like the norms are in filming and lighting and sound and all of that. Um, and just get to like, I don't know, just explore so much more because, like in the waking world, you have one rule book, but with dreams, it's like you have way many more rule books to work with. It isn't just one. Um, so yeah,
For
it was a
sure.
lot
The
of
sky's
fun.
the limit.
Yeah.
That's honestly so much fun as just like a filmmaker, a writer, any sort of creative role in this process. I would love to be like have that creative freedom. I want to talk more about like the production process, get deeper into that. So 2020 was kind of an unusual year, to say the least, with COVID-19. So, I mean, I feel like it's inevitable that we have to talk about this. I want to know how the pandemic impacted your production process. Was there anything that maybe you originally planned that had to go? What changed about your production? What did you have to do?
The biggest thing that changed about the production happened like after we shot, one like for one day basically. And we started with a 20-page script. And then after that, it became very apparent that we couldn't go on this way. It wasn't safe, it wasn't ethical, it just didn't make any sense. So we had to like cut down on crew, cut down on the cast, and cut down on the script itself. Um, so we ended up with a 10-page script after like, we uncanceled the production. And yeah, the story changed. And we just kind of like had to move forward with that. Overall, it was really difficult just because in normal production, there's this expectation that you need to have like one or two backups, but with COVID, it seemed like you needed to have like 10,000 backups, just because we didn't know what the next month, let alone the next week, was going to look like. So we had to like constantly change what we were doing. And there's also like just constant questioning, like, is this worth it? Like in a pandemic, it makes you question a lot, like as a creative, as a student. And yeah, we also had school, which is, very hard.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it was a lot. It's a completely new world and we're expected to be like the pioneers of it or something. It's
For sure. There's
a lot of pressure.
too many variables at play here. You have so much going on, so much can go wrong. Like, I don't know, you had to make so many different plans. Does any other team member want to speak to this difficulty, this challenge?
Um, Yeah, well, I can just say quickly that I think, I joined the Purple Matter team like a little bit later than everyone else did. And my role already was fairly remote. And I went for that one first day of shooting that Ayat mentioned. And, after that was not really as essential of a team member to be there for the actual filming, which was really disappointing and made things, complicated. But I think that the team, it's like I was saying, it's such a complicated time, and it's really commendable. I think how the team adapted and was able to, make something as great as they did. And yeah, I think that the communication between the team was really what made things work out the way that they did.
For sure. Michaela, do you want to speak to the challenges in this pandemic shooting this production?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to say that, we worked so hard the whole semester before on this project. So just considering having to like scrap that and give up, it was heartbreaking. And we did take 2 or 3 weeks to think about it and figure out like what we were going to do, because there's a lot of factors at play. With everybody's health and safety, but also like this project that we worked on, and all the restrictions that COVID was throwing at us. So yeah, it was definitely difficult, but I think we pulled through and we ended up creating something really great, considering everything that happened. So I'm really proud of what we were able to achieve.
Right, that's amazing. You had so many curveballs thrown at you from every direction. So just hearing you say that you're still proud to have made this, it's a good thing. And I want to talk more about that feeling now that you're in post-production, now that you've overcome most of the challenges. I mean, we're still kind of in this pandemic, but all the production challenges. How do you feel now that you're here?
So I feel like I think it's like hard to admit this, but like I've been feeling like very drained, just because like you work on a project like nonstop for a year basically, and you put so much into it, and like we were just saying, it was like extra exhausting. It was just like extra spice for 2020, and it just made things that much harder. But like now I feel like way more relaxed and just kind of like now I feel like I can like like we can just take our time with things, and we don't have to like be in a rush to like impress whoever is grading this at our university. We don't have the pressure of being like, oh, what if someone contracts like a deadly virus? And yeah, we can just kind of move forward and like think more about how we want to like enter the film festival circuit, and how we want to like further this project narratively, and also just like even like things like marketing, and like things are just a lot more lax.
For sure. It's really in your hands right now what you want to do with this piece, where you want to take it creatively. You kind of have those like other external stresses offer you. So that's really great. And now that you're in this like place of post-production, I want to know, is there anything that you would do differently, or are you 100% satisfied?
So yeah, I think I mean, like, it's hindsight. Yeah, I'd probably do things differently. Um, it doesn't mean that I have like regrets. But yeah, I probably could have been like more organized. Um, I probably, I don't know. I, it's kind of like a hard question. Um, I'll let Michaela take this one.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that it's difficult to say because I think that things happened the way they happened. I don't think that we could have done anything differently if we were to go back. Um, there was a lot at play. There was, all the restrictions kept changing, and everybody to keep in mind. So I don't know. I don't think we could have done anything differently, or should have. It happened the way it happened. Yeah.
Right. Nick, do you disagree? Do you agree with what your team members are saying?
I think I would mirror all of that. I think that definitely, I had made the really good point that with COVID and with, the lack of precedent that there is for the situation that we were all in, I think that, it's not worth really being too hard on ourselves for that. And, I'm really impressed with the adaptability that everyone on the team, showed overall. And yeah, I think, you can never be too organized or too, communicative with your team. But I think that, yeah, I think it was, as a team, everyone did as good as they could have.
For sure. This was a real challenge. I mean, I wasn't in it, but I think I can gauge that. And this is the first time something like this has ever happened. So what you accomplished here, you should be proud regardless. And I want you to take everything you've learned from this experience and sort of put that into some advice that you would give to a future RTA practicum student. What would you tell these future students on, how to go about their practicum?
Sorry, Michaela, could you go first?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I would say that, we worked so hard these 3 years for practicum, and you're usually just so stressed going into it. And I would say have fun with it, because you don't really get another opportunity like this. And try not to stress, and really embrace everything and live in the moment, and be creative with it. You have a perfect opportunity, because you're an exec. You get to make these decisions and just have fun. It's for school.
For sure. What kind of advice would you give?
Just, well, like, one, have like really open communication with your team, because I think that helps you grow as a creative and also helps you grow as a person, to like learn how to say things honestly. And it could be uncomfortable, but like in the long run, it's just better for everyone. And I guess I would also say, like, just try to prepare yourself emotionally, for the issues that production, that the world, like COVID, will bring, and know that it isn't like your fault. Like, don't take things too hard, and just try to, like, I don't know, yeah, just try to have fun with it, like Michaela said, and move forward.
For sure, for sure. This process can be stressful. I'm getting, so those emotions are going to come. Nick, what kind of advice would you give to a future practicum student in RTA?
Yeah, coming from obviously a slightly different perspective, having joined this project later, and I didn't, after the conception of the project, I would say that my best advice would be to really, if you're, joining a different group, joining a different project, to just really embrace whatever project it is that you become a part of, and to, I think, focus on and learn from the collaboration element, because that's such a key part of it. And odds are that you'll end up being a group with people who are really, really, talented in different ways, and that you can learn from in different ways. And like, I was lucky too, I think, with this group. So I would say, yeah, don't put too much pressure on yourself, and embrace the collaboration is what I would say, and have fun with it, like everyone else said.
For sure. This is all really amazing advice. I'm definitely going to take it into my practicum, because you all seem very, experienced, and you definitely know what you're talking about. I have one final question for you guys, And that would be, what would you tell your first year self? Yeah, why don't we start with you?
Oh my God.
It's a big question.
Yeah. Like Jesus, like just relax. Like it's okay. It's like I'm trying to tell myself that right now. So I definitely think first year me needed to hear that. There's like this huge expectation in RTA that because you're in media, you need to like be successful really early. And I was just like, I can't believe I wasn't like born famous. So I'm definitely late now. So yeah, that I would just like, please relax. Please, it's not that serious. Um, and I guess don't be so afraid of people. I think I was like really freaked out by everyone else in my year. Um, just because like people were like really successful. So that made me feel less successful. But that is just silly self-esteem stuff. So I shouldn't have let that get me down. Um, and yeah, I think I turned out fine. So I would also tell her that like you're about to graduate and you're doing well. So like don't worry about it.
For sure. Those feelings you described, definitely relatable. Michaela, what about you? What would you tell your first yourself?
Yeah, I'll definitely go off what Ayat was saying. Like, I would tell myself, you're in school, don't take it so seriously and don't compare yourself to other people because I feel like you're constantly doing that, with other people's success. So you're afraid to do things and speak up and get out there. But it's your time to do that and have fun because everybody else is there to learn as well. So that's what I tell myself.
Wow, this is turning into therapy for my first year self, which wasn't even that long ago. I'm only in second year. Nick, what about you? What would you tell your first year self?
I would say pretty similar things. I think I would tell myself to be more kind of active and there's a lot of resources in RTA, so try to really like take advantage of that and use the different projects you have to try your best to like make something out of it that you'd want to be doing outside of school anyway, kind of thing. And just be more active and not just try to like rush through it. And I think that's what I would say.
For sure. And thank you all for that amazing advice. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I certainly learned a lot about why you chose to tell this story and just how much making Purple Matter means to all of you. So on behalf of myself and the entire crew, thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate it, all your insight and your energy. It means a lot. And thank you for watching this showcase. If you'd like to learn more about Purple Matter, check out their Instagram at Purple Matter Film. Additionally, the Purple Matter team is running an Indiegogo campaign to try and recoup their production costs. Their goal is $2,300, and any size donation is welcome with open arms, and it goes to a tremendously, tremendously talented team trying to make their dreams a reality. You can find it in the bio of their Instagram at Purple Matter Film. And thank you all. Good night. Thank you for watching.
All clear.